The Green Bay Packers have won the Super Bowl.
The Packers' all-time leading scorer.
A game winner for Mason Crosby.
It's time for the Mason Crosby Show with Mitch Nelles, presented by Verizon, the #1 network in Milwaukee, on 1250 AM and 105.7 FM The Fan, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook, and on the free Odyssey.
What do you want? Smoltzy, what do you want?
Cut her in, slide her in.
I don't throw a cutter.
He doesn't slide her in.
Slider.
Cutter.
Son of a.
From Clayton Kershaw asking Smoltzy what pitch he should pitch while on the mound of pitching to a wild swing off to end things and a little McGill and Mizorowski in the middle. It was an all-star game that we will remember. Many other highlights, some lowlights as well. We will get to that today. Scotty Scheffler talked, and we are going to Human Wednesday it up in the 10 o'clock hour. Bonnie Blair will join us in the first hour, and the kicker is here. My name's Mitch Nelles, a.k.a. Thunder, on the Mason Crosby Show, presented by Verizon. He is Mason Crosby.
Yeah, and I am here, and I like your shirt, Mitchapalooza.
Mitchapalooza, baby.
Yep,
We're going streaking.
And, hey, you can see this. We are on YouTube, so
right.
Make sure you get on YouTube and look at Mitch's shirt. I'm wearing my old ranch shirt, Shadow Ridge.
That's a nice shirt.
So in honor of
Mason, that's a good color on you.
Thank you. I do like
brings
this
out
color.
your
I've been wearing it a lot lately. I just feel like, especially going to Bermuda, have a little tan.
Yeah.
Just kind of feel like it. Yeah, it just really pops right now. So. But yeah, let's dive into this All-Star game and what all took place. They did not have, I didn't see a dance-off or a WWE situation.
No.
Nothing fun like that.
They let us down a little bit with that one.
That's disappointing. That's disappointing. Some bad pitching in the middle of this game for both teams, honestly.
But not for our crew.
Not for our crew.
The National League relievers were awful, except for the two wearing Brewers uniforms.
Exactly. Do we just want to jump into and just talk about Miz and McGill? I mean, is that where we're headed right now?
Yeah, because we'll get to the swing off. We'll get
Miz
to
throwing 102 miles an hour in the All-Star game is what I think we all needed and all wanted, right? So I do want to ask both of you and Tommy, because this question was posed yesterday, right? Is does Miz pitching, does he need to pitch well? Or is it going to be this scrutinized thing? We all got to think he pitched well, right? He pitched just exactly how he has been pitching, just throwing gas, throwing strikes. I love that high heat 102 that he's just, and it's got so much movement. Even that 102 starts in and then just slides up to the corner. It's just it's beautiful.
And I think the thing we all have to respect and just be in awe of is that stat track, because he threw 98?
Yeah.
He threw a 98-mile-an-hour slider that StatTrack had, right? Was it a slider?
It was a slider.
Yeah, that StatTrack said was a fastball because no one in the history of Earth has ever thrown a 98-mile-an-hour slider before. And he did, and it said fastball. But everybody on the field lost their brains because all the players on both teams knew it was not a fastball at 98.
Right.
That was just unbelievable.
All that movement. And then, the clip that we came in with, I love that. That's the good stuff about an All-Star game, right? It's like you got Smoltz telling Kershaw to throw a cutter. He's like, dude, I don't throw a cutter.
So I did say I had a surprise for you guys here in the first segment. But maybe the most famous person I have ever met, Mr. John Smoltz back in the heyday there.
Oh, my gosh. Look at that picture.
Had that one ready to go.
What shirt is that,
I don't know.
Tommy?
Everyone said it looks like a piece of bacon, but it's not.
It's tire. It's like a tire track, isn't it?
So I have no idea where I got this shirt.
Road America?
Did they call you Skid Mark as a young kid?
Relax.
But I recognized him. He was in Charleston, West Virginia, going to Milwaukee to call the game on MLB Network at the time. And I recognized him as a 9-10-year-old boy, whatever I am right there.
So what is this, 15 years ago?
At least, all of that. And that was the first time my mom ever got exposed to oh my God, my kid's a sicko and knows who John Smoltz is, and he's 9 at this point.
He's 9.
that was the surprise I had for you guys.
Nice. Well, it looked like, I mean, he was sitting behind y'all. Like, were you up in first class?
No, I walked up to first class to be like, and I was like, "Are you John Smoltz?" And he said, "I'll never forget it." He's like, "Am I in trouble if I am?" Like that's like just
line.
Old man line to the max right there.
So good.
You can see You can see. I don't know if you can see my mouse here, but like his wife or girlfriend is like ducking out of the picture right there too.
That's a classic move.
Yeah.
She didn't know that 15 years from now we'd have artificial intelligence that could just take her out of the picture.
Right.
Like she didn't see into the future that we
did
could
not know that
pictures
at the moment. Was that taken with an actual
That was taken with a flip phone back in the day.
And it's still that good quality.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Because my flip phone pictures from 15 years ago are like super fuzzy and hazy and terrible.
Might have been like a Razor or a Nokia, something like that.
Mrs. Thunder had a Razor.
Man, the Razor was my all-time favorite.
Did you have a Razor?
Oh, I love the Razor.
Razor was legit.
How cool was that? I mean, it's so thin and just slides. Right. It was like perfect in your pocket, and then you just flip that bad boy open. Oh, those were the best.
That's awesome.
And then you had to like learn how to text.
Right, because it felt different. And it's
T9.
the Mason Crosby Show presented by Verizon, the #1 network in Milwaukee. Mizorowski, 18 pitches, 13 strikes, does give up a hit and a couple long fly balls. Because, again, when you pitch in an all-star game against some of the best hitters and they hit your 102-mile-an-hour ball, it's going to go, right?
Yeah.
And so a couple of those looked like they could have been shots.
But humid in Atlanta, it's just not flying as far.
Not for them at least. Some other guys flew out, but
and
McGill came in the inning before and just like faced one guy and got him out, and that was it. And Suarez made a nice play at third to help him out. Future teammate Eugenio Suarez. All right, just kidding.
You calling it?
No. I don't think that's the play, but good to see. Not necessarily clean innings, but, goose eggs by our guys. And an inning and a third. And even on the broadcast, they talked about, like, especially when Mizorowski was out there, they were talking about Mizorowski, but they also talked about the Brewers. They also mentioned 32-13 since early May.
Seriously.
And, like, that, like, the Brewers just keep getting it done. And they keep getting arms in the bullpen. And it seems like they said it, and we talked about this last week when you were out, Mason. It seems like every year the Brewers get a closer into the game, whether it was Corey Knebel and then to Josh Hader and then to Devin Williams and now to Trevor McGill. There's always a reliever from the Brewers in this all-star team. They have figured out whatever that formula is, and it just feels pretty good to be represented at the all-star team and not like the Padres closer comes in and doesn't do well, and it's like, Padres.
Yeah, not a great showing.
Didn't happen to the Brewers. The Brewers did what they were supposed to do.
Yeah, they just showed up, did their thing, and it was good. And I think Mizorowski, like you said, he's facing the best players on every other team, and we saw that against the Dodgers. Ohtani takes him home run first at bat, and then he settles in and gets it done. So like, I love that about Miz is that he does not get rattled by anything that's going on out there. It's
he's
just
got a smile on his face the whole time.
He's just like a kid. Just like, that's like when I go play golf with my kids, and they just not a care in the world. It's like you top a shot, or it's like you're around a green, you hit a chip, and it's like you're free to go. Like Nolan is just so free out on the golf course, and that's how Miz is playing like in Major League Baseball. It's just like, I'm just going to keep doing my thing.
So not that the All-Star game matters, because like it's still an exhibition, it's still fun. But let's take you, Mason Crosby, into a pressure kick. And I don't necessarily want to put you into the Dallas kick, but any pressure kick you had during your career. How did you stay loose? Like, how did you make sure you didn't let the moment get too big? If it's, there's 3 seconds on the clock, you're down by a point or two, or it's tied or whatever, and it's a pressure-filled kick. How do you make sure you don't get too focused? You want to stay focused, but you don't want to get so far gone that you lose sight of the moment.
Yeah, I think you can see it with these pitchers. It's very similar where I always talk about these like 30-second resets. It's like you're locked in for, that 30 seconds, and then you kind of have to like step out of it for just a moment. And then lock back in. Because if you try to just like laser focus for minutes on end, or and like 3 hours of a game,
right?
Like you literally cannot sustain that. Like it's impossible. So you are focused the whole time, but it's like those 30 seconds of intense focus. And I don't know, so, a lot of that, I trained myself in that for a long time, but I do think like I was very fortunate to just have that innate ability. Like my parents talk about how intense and like focused I could get as a kid, where it's just like.
So even as a kid, you had that in you.
They made fun of me, and instead of it like being something that I like, kind of tried to shy away from, I would just I honed in on it. It's like, I'm focused, and I'm gonna dominate you.
That's part of what separates like why you made it. Because with all due respect, there are guys out there in high school and college who have big legs, and don't have you obviously had the mental makeup, and even as much as Mizorowski could have a smile out there and he's messing around like. When it's time to make that pitch, there's a laser focus.
And that's like what I would do. It's like I knew when a game, like we were in a game-winning situation with a drive happening, it's like I would make sure I kind of like smile and like relaxed every once in a while.
Yeah.
So it was like that 30-second, and then you like kind of relax. I took I like walked the sideline just a little bit, and then I'd come back, lock back in, and it's just you just repeat those habits, and that must Mizorowski just seems to be like in between pitches and all that. It's just like all right, take a breath, relax, enjoy the moment, and then it's like laser focus, lock right back in. And honestly, what happened to me as a kid with my intensity and focus, I think there's a lot of people that it changes them if people are like, dude, you're so intense, you're so like you're hard to be around because you literally focus in so hard.
Okay.
And like I bet there's a lot of kids that end up trying to change themselves, right?
Right.
They like end up saying like, oh my gosh, like this is a bad thing. Everyone seems to dislike that I'm like. I laser focus in on certain things, and it's like, don't let that be you. Like, if you are laser focused and it's a productive thing and it's something that is getting you like to where you want to go, don't let anyone sway you away from that, because it can get you to some amazing places if you're able to, harness it in the right way, right?
This is why this is the best radio show on the radio right now.
It's Human Wednesday, too.
On the YouTube right now, on the Odyssey app right now, on the iHeart app right now. It's the Mason Crosby Show presented by Verizon, the #1 network in Milwaukee. Bonnie Blair's coming up in a few minutes, but I did want to get your take, and I know Tommy Rance has a take as well on the ending of the game. The American League ties it up in the top of the ninth at 6. The National League can't score in the bottom, and they go to a swing-off where 3 predetermined players were picked for 3 swings each, and it didn't even need to go to the bottom of the third because Kyle Schwarber took care of that. He hits 3 home runs on all 3 of his swings, and the National League wins the game 6-6. I guess technically they make it 7-6 or whatever.
But it's like PKs, right?
It's just like penalty kicks.
Yeah.
And it is an exhibition game, and I know there's that argument. I will be honest, literally the second the American League tied the game, I turned it off. First of all, I was like falling asleep.
You just thought it was going to end.
Right. Well, I was falling asleep anyway, and I didn't know what the rule was. And I remember being there in 2002 in Milwaukee in like the craziest humid Miller Park ever. It was just disgusting. And Bud Selig not knowing what to do, and the team being out of pitchers, and it was just like a debacle. And I didn't want to see another debacle. I didn't know what if I had known it was just a swing off, I probably would have stayed up. And you know what? Having watched the replay this morning, I kind of love it. Because I don't want it in regular season games.
Oh my gosh, that would be the worst.
Right, that is the worst. And I saw somebody today somebody legitimately float like, well, if it's still tied after 12, you should do this. First of all, no games are still tied after 12 because you have the runner starting on second base, which is already an abomination to Major League Baseball. But at least you don't have 18-inning games like you do in the playoffs still a little bit. What do you think about the concept of the swing off?
Okay, so did we have any idea? It felt like from what I read, like some of the players that were interviewed, they didn't know what was going to happen.
Yeah, I don't even think they knew.
They threw this. The managers knew, and if it was a tie at the end, this was going to happen.
Yeah.
But like fans, like players, nobody knew this was going to be the situation.
Like again, if I had known, I would have kept watching, but I had no idea. So I was like, I'm done with it. I don't want to watch it.
I was reading the article on it, and one of the guys that was, he thought he was getting like hazed.
Oh, really?
It was funny. Yeah, he was like, "This is like rookie hazing. Why am I?
What are we doing
being
here?
told I'm going to go and just do batting practice, basically like a three swing home run derby."
Love it.
I like it. I don't mind it for something like this. Like I don't mind breaking a tie and like having an actual winner, doing something fun at the end. I think it was I think it was fine. It's not something that I got overly excited about, but I think it was a fine way to end it. I do think probably because I did see something as well, like some of the players weren't even out there.
Right.
Like they had already gone into the clubhouse.
Shower or whatever.
Yeah, they had kind of shut it down. Pitchers had shut it down, whatever. And so it's all right, not everyone even knew this was a possibility. So maybe tell the players so you get a little more juice around it.
Yep. There were still a bunch of guys out there. People were the guys who were out there were having fun with it.
And fans want to catch a fly ball, like a home run. They want those balls going into the stands. So this is just a great opportunity for fans in the outfield to get another chance to catch a home run.
Exactly.
So I do think for that game, for All-Stars, if any idiot decides to try to pitch this as something that should happen in real games, I think they should they just need to leave.
Go ahead. I was just gonna say it's funny that Kyle Schwarber's then named the MVP of the game because he hit those 3 home runs.
I love his comment.
He's not even the game.
Yeah, he's I didn't even hit a ball in the game. And he's I guess now we're giving trophies for a good batting practice.
Right.
Right. It's
so true.
Which, hey, I love comments like that too. And that's where I'm did the players actually like it?
Right.
Because the headline on the ESPN article is players and fans love this swing off. And almost everything I was reading from the players' side, they were confused, and it was almost this just feels this is kind of goofy. Yeah. But I do think from a fan perspective, everyone loves the home run derby. This was just a kind of a quick hit,
right? A 3 mini swings, home run derby. Yep.
Mini home run derby. So I think it was fun. It's definitely they're searching, they're looking for something. I would have definitely liked to see a wrestling match,
yes.
On the field or dance off. Bring Savannah Bananas didn't show
dance
up,
off, bro.
Dance off would have been fun.
Bro. That would have been fun. Peter Quill would have won that.
Oh my gosh, that would have been great.
Tommy Rance, you got
Tommy Rance. I want to hear what Tommy thought of it.
2 things can be true.
I am such a curmudgeon and I hate everything.
2 things can be true. Right, there is no good way to end a tie after 9 innings in a MLB exhibition game.
That is true.
And that was an exhibit of there are no good ways to end a tie after 9 innings in an exhibition game, because it was, first of all, who wants to, what? The fans love to see home run derbies. You know who they love to see home run derbies with? Shohei Ohtani and Aaron Judge, not True. Kyle Stowers and Jonathan Aranda, all right?
Yeah.
Second of all,
good point.
Second
point
of all,
made.
from this, the fact that they didn't make an adjustment and make the National League. I understand they went home and away, but to have the third guy not even bat was also very dumb. It just seemed like a very half-assed way to do this sort of thing, where they kind of just threw it together.
Yeah, they just threw it together. They had no, even the people who made the rules had no idea what they were doing.
The fans saw a home run derby the day before. It's whatever
it
to
is
me.
It loses. It's definitely a stretch. And a reach to try to do something fun. But yeah, baseball players, they're professional baseball players. They're I don't want to do something fun. I don't want to do batting practice at the end of a game.
Right.
This is crazy.
Right. I completely understand that there is no, we're not going into extra innings for the All-Star game. You saw the terrible decision to end in a tie back in Milwaukee when they did that. But I still just don't. No, I don't want the swing off at the end of the game.
They should have done a tag up. Guy from in outfield has to throw the ball home and then collision at the plate.
Smartest man right now looks like Nick Castellanos. You want to turn this game into banana ball? They just did right there. At the end.
And you know what? The answer is yes, we do, because banana ball's killing it right now, by the way.
It is pretty fun.
I understand.
Who are the starting pitchers? Skeens and Skubal?
Yep.
I would have rather seen a home run derby between the 2 of them. Make the 2 of them, first one to homer wins. Ooh. Alternating pitches. Can either of them even get it out? Giovanni Gallardo's famous for hitting batting practice home runs when he was with the Brewers.
There we go.
But I wonder if, I'm sure, they're athletes. They were hitters in high school. I'm sure, so I don't know.
Hey, I have a question for the 2 of you before we go to break and we get Bonnie Blair on.
Yeah.
Do you know the 2 players for the Milwaukee Brewers that came from Georgetown High School?
Oh, man.
Oh, no,
the other Brian Anderson.
Can't look it up.
Can't look it up. All right, so
Texas boys? I don't know. Is it old? Are they
one's
recent?
a pitcher that you just mentioned.
Gallardo?
No.
Jacob Mizorowski.
His first name's Corey.
Knable.
Corey Knable.
Okay.
The big
Spent his senior
Texan.
year at Georgetown High School.
Did he really?
Yeah.
All right. Very cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, I know. So, yeah, and then he obviously had injuries, different things. It was unfortunate. Taylor Youngman attended Georgetown High School, drafted by the Brewers in the first round of the 2011 draft.
Yeah, I think he was supposed to be
He
something.
panned out really well, as you can tell. Yeah.
Georgetown High School, like honestly, at the tail end of my my time there, they got a new coach, and they became a really good baseball program. So
When did you stop playing baseball?
my sophomore year.
Okay, so you played freshman and sophomore year, and
Yeah.
I assume you were pretty good.
Well, I actually didn't. I made the team my sophomore year, but I had to make a choice between soccer and baseball, so I chose soccer. My parents were like, I was playing club, high school, and then I was going to play high school baseball all at the same time. And my mom and dad were just like, all right, like you've gone too far.
Yeah.
We got to choose something.
And you are Mason the Leg Crosby. So.
Yeah, the leg had something a little
maker.
bit better than Then I could I couldn't throw gas, but back in my prime, it's I would goof around. I was a good little little league pitcher. But I threw some. I could throw mid 80s.
I believe it.
80s.
I believe it.
Yeah.
He's Mason Crosby. This is the Mason Crosby Show, presented by Verizon, the #1 network in Milwaukee. We're live in the fan studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Olympic gold medal winner, multiple time gold medal winner, five time. Bonnie Blair will join the show next, right here on the Mason Crosby Show.
Nice.
This is the Mason Crosby Show presented by Verizon here on the Fan, 1250 AM, 105.7 FM. Remember, free on the Odyssey app. You can listen to us at thefanmilwaukee.com. We're also on the iHeart app. And Sunday, July 27th at ABC Supply Stadium in Beloit, Wisconsin, it is the inaugural Border Brouhaha Softball Slam benefiting Make-A-Wish Wisconsin, featuring Mason Crosby, Jordy Nelson, Tim Mastey, Brett Good, and Bonnie Blair. Joining us now on the Gruber Law guest hotline, it is Bonnie Blair. Welcome in, Bonnie. The kicker is here. Mason is here. It is great to have you, Bonnie.
Yeah, thanks. I wouldn't say majorly featuring. I'm going to show up and try to hang as best I can.
Oh, Bonnie, hey, it's great to have you. Really glad you're on the show and that you're coming to the charity softball game. I know we've spent a lot of time there at the Lombardi Foundation, playing golf and all the great charitable work you do. So how is your softball game? Have you been practicing? Are you what's your kind of main, your strongest position? I need to know all these things as we're preparing.
Right. So, I don't know if I should share with you because you're on the opposite team as I am.
Yeah. What's your weakest pitch that you hit? I'm not throwing floaters. I'm gonna be throwing gas all day.
Oh, okay. Because I was gonna say maybe my batting and my fielding knowledge is pretty good, but I throw like a girly girl. It's it's not. No, it isn't even funny. It's not even funny. But
so we're gonna put you at second, and you can just toss the ball to the shortstop. Then I can just toss
it underhand, right?
Exactly.
Maybe that's the thing. But I do plan to go to the batting cage before we get there. So
nice.
Yeah, and the whole idea, as you know, it's for charity. So I'm for sure going to bring laughs to the audience. Let's just put it that way. And we'll do what we can for charity. That's what it's all about.
Awesome. We have Bonnie Blair, 5-time Olympic gold medalist, speed skater, charitable actor, just does so many amazing things. I was reading your bio a little bit, and I want to go back to your early days of getting into speed skating. And we talk about NIL, we talk about different things all the time. And I saw that you had you were sponsored by the Champagne Policemen's Benevolent Association to go and do your training in Europe back in 1984. Tell us a little bit about that and what that journey looked like as you were getting ready and starting your speed skating journey.
Okay, so this actually even kind of ties back into my softball days, and you probably didn't even know this.
All right, so you have a background.
So I actually played recreational softball back in the day, and our sponsor for our team was the Champagne Police Benevolent Association. So that he was a policeman. His daughter played softball. He was coaching. And obviously they knew that I was a speed skater. So one thing led into another, and they started talking about, what it takes to speed skate, yada, yada, yada. And I'm like, well, yeah, there's a lot of the skaters are going over to Europe, and I'm not sure, my family can swing it. And he's like, well, what do you mean? And I'm like, well, it's going to cost money, and I'm not sure we've got that kind of money to do it. So we went out to breakfast with my dad. My dad brought a shoebox of receipts of what it kind of costs to what it takes to skate, right? So the guy just said, yeah, keep your shoebox. He goes, you just tell me what you need. And he's like, we're going to do what we can. So it wasn't the police department just opening their checkbook, writing a check for me to go chase my dreams. What they did is they just did a lot of fundraisers around the Champaign-Urbana area where I grew up. So it really kind of became my whole hometown, became my sponsor with them, spearheading the whole thing. Cool. And that was really before sponsorships kind of came into the light. this was the early 80s. And, I think when the Olympics were in Atlanta, like in 88, that was even after that was kind of when corporate America started stepping up and helping a lot of the sports like ours that, or in Olympics that we're not government funded. We don't have those big dollars and sponsors behind us. So that was a big part of it. But yeah, now you get into the whole NIL. It's like a whole different world out there now. But it was like my whole hometown and my police department there really helping me to be able to chase my goals and my dreams. And it was huge for me back then.
That's so awesome. Well, I mean, you were 15 years old, correct? Whenever you made your first national team.
Yeah. So,
so awesome.
Just my first time I skated in the Olympic trials in 1980. I had only done long track speed skating the weekend before. Now, granted, speed skating is speed. Yeah. So, granted, speed skating is speed skating, but yet I never had done the races where you just go against the clock. So I did it where you went against others. So like what Apollo Ono did in short track and a hockey rink, and you have a process of elimination races. I did that in a hockey rink as well as on the big track, but I'd never just skated strictly against the clock with one other person. And I did that one weekend before the Olympic trials and made the time to skate I qualified to be in Olympic trials. Then that next weekend, I wound up being 8th out of, well, I don't know how many it was, but they took 5 to the Olympics and I was 8th. So I'm like, oh my God, maybe I should try this Olympic style stuff. So that was kind of like my first taste of it. And that was good enough to put me on the national team, to be able to go to some training camps, get, I don't want to say real coaching, but coaching at that next level. So that's kind of where it really kind of all started for me. So yeah, I was about 16 years old.
Oh, that's so awesome. We have Bonnie Blair, 5-time Olympic gold medalist on the Mason Crosby Show. I love all of this. It's just so cool. Your energy around it, and just kind of going back and remembering like those moments. I gotta like for our listeners, and we'll dive more into the Border Brouhaha and what that means and your charitable work. But I just want to ask you about what that experience was like. Winning your first gold medal and just continuing that success. What is it like winning a gold medal at the Olympics? Like, run us through those feels.
Yeah, crazy question. I think I found the easiest way to answer that is I took part in 4 Olympic Games. Sarajevo was my first. I wound up being 8th also at that Olympic Games. If they would have had a video on me at that point in time and we could see video of you probably would have thought I won. I thought I'd get anywhere above 12th. That would have been awesome. So for me to be 8th in that Olympics, that was like, I was stoked. But then when we go to Calgary and I'm able to win, I set a world record in that race. My family had all kind of been in one area for the event, but for the award ceremony, that's not where their seats were. So they kind of like scattered themselves out in front of the award podium. And I can remember seeing, one of my sisters, Angela, she's like crying. My sister Susie, just a huge grin on her face. My mom's still looking scared to death as if I was still racing. And
she's still your mom, right?
She's still my mom. And then my sister Mary, she was always our loud and boisterous one, and she's yelling, screaming, going absolutely nuts. And then I saw my brother Rob high five his best friend, and to look into the audience and see my family, see all those different emotions, like I can safely say that, yeah, that's exactly what it feels like to win an Olympic gold medal.
Wow.
Yeah, it was a special moment for me, for sure.
Oh, that's so cool. That's you painted the perfect picture. I can see it. And you're the youngest of 6 kids, right?
I'm by like a long ways. In reality, I probably really shouldn't be here.
Wow.
I'm like, My oldest brother was 20.
It was an oopsie.
It was a new. I'm for sure an oopsie. My oldest brother was 22 years older than I was.
No way.
And
That's
closest one in age to me was 8 years older than I was. So yeah.
Jeez.
So my mom was 45. My dad was 52. So yeah, it's crazy that I'm here, and but I for sure kept my parents young. Like for my parents to run around and chase after me, kind of in those older ages is, yes, a testament for them to have lived a longer age, although I've lost both of them now. And I lost my dad not long after that 88 Olympic Games. But for sure, like, kept them younger than they would had been if they didn't have me to chase around after.
For sure. Bonnie Blair on the Mason Crosby Show. Let's dive into kind of what you're doing now. I know you do a lot of public speaking. You do a lot of charitable work. Are you the Board of Brouhaha? The proceeds are going to Make-A-Wish Wisconsin. Do you have involvement in that on any kind of regular basis? What other charities do you like to spend your time being involved with?
Yeah, no, I mean, I know that Make-A-Wish is huge, yes, in Wisconsin, but actually all over, and touches a lot of kids' lives, and a super great charity to be part of. And I've done a couple of things like this where you're kind of part of it, but I haven't been in the trenches of it. Given the big family that I have, I've kind of got lots of trenches to get in there where, yeah. So like, my mom, had dementia. So I've worked a lot with, the Alzheimer's Association, here in southeastern Wisconsin. Have also done, some work with the Leukemia Foundation. I lost my sister, Mary, from leukemia. In the past, I've done stuff with the Brain Tumor Association. I lost my brother to a brain tumor. The Liver Foundation, my sister Angela has had a battle with liver sickness, and so I've done some stuff with them. She's in remission. That's super good.
Oh, that's great.
My dad had lung cancer. Like, it's just like one thing after another. So, those are the ones that kind of like tug at my heartstrings. So I've kind of lent my name to them at different points here. And then a little bit too, then on a specific that it's not, like, charities for so many people are all about like illnesses and things like that. But we also, my husband and I, have a speed skating group called Dash. And so although we're not, fighting any illnesses, we're really trying to touch kids' lives and get kids more active, get them in the sport of skating. So we are a 501c3 where, it's not an illness, but at the end of the day, we're hoping to have kids lead healthier lives, which hopefully combats those illnesses in the future. Just gets kids moving. It's great for the brain, the body, as in athletics. And with a lot of athletics taken out of schools, we're just finding a lot of kids, they're, constantly on their phones, like just trying to do some basic things that, my husband and I thought were normal growing up. Knowing how to do a somersault. Can you do a cartwheel? Can you kick up into a handstand? And like, kids just can't do this. And so I think, trying to get them, just to be more active, learn some coordination things, is super good. And then kind of getting them involved in our sport. And, who knows, hopefully at the end of the day, maybe we find the next Olympian that comes from Wisconsin.
I love that. Bonnie, literally, you answered. That was going to be my next question. Was just like, how are you? Yeah, what would you say to young aspiring skaters or athletes? Especially in this world that we're living in with all these pools of NIL, of just kind of what's that next best thing, and but I like where you're starting is so important. Like just be able to stand up, run around, like do handstand, like be an active person, and then start chasing after those things. Like you can't chase anything if you're not already being active. So you hit it right on the head. I was just, but I do want to ask you that, and then I know Mitch probably has a question for you as well. But just like, what do you say to young aspiring Olympians, athletes? Because you were in the Olympics, and I would consider the golden age of like Olympic athletes of just kind of amateurism, going out competing for your country, and like you said, you got 8th place, and you felt like you had won just because you were like. You had a goal, you achieved it, you got there. And that is like what's beautiful about the Olympics. So like what do you say to these young aspiring Olympians, athletes, whenever you get to be in front of them?
Yeah, I think first and foremost, and I'm sure you've got to have that love and that passion, right? So you've got to find that niche in life that puts that smile on your face. Right. And puts that smile on your face even when days are a struggle, or that this is going to be a super hard training day, but yet that if you get through it, it's going to help you down the road, right? So, but you've got to have that love and that passion for something, because it's definitely hard to give back to it when you are having those difficult days. But when you have that love and passion, it makes it easier to get out there. Even like for you, you had teammates that can bring you along, even though maybe you're struggling, right? And granted, your sport's more team orientated. We still trained as a team together, and it was always great to have somebody, whether it's Dan Jansen, my husband, the others that were there that might make a joke and make things light in the day to like take your mind off things for just a few seconds and then back at it again, right? So, being able to surround yourself with that good positive influences. But I think first and foremost, it's really having that love and that desire for something that can get you out there day in and day out, no matter what the circumstances are.
That's awesome. Bonnie Blair, on the Mason Crosby Show, 5-time Olympic gold medal, speed skater. You said exactly what we talked about in the previous. Like, I always talked about these 30-second, resets. You know, it's like I locked in for 30 seconds, then I'd, reset. And I'd smile and talk to someone, laugh, and then it's like, all right, lock back in. Because you need that. You can't just laser focus. You're not going to be happy every time you step on the field or go to practice or any of that. So, the fun has to be there, and that passion and that love has to be there, no doubt.
Yeah, and Mitch, I think one of the things we talk about with my son who plays semi-pro hockey, and same thing. Nice. Let's say you get out there and you're like, oh God, that was a mistake. I should have passed it over here instead of there. And if you let that fester, then that's going to be bad for your next shift. So one of the things we share with our kids, something doesn't go right. Okay, let it go. It's over. Like you said, reset, get right back in it again, forget about what happened and focus on the future and try to make the best of it moving forward. I think sometimes we get too caught up in, the negative or things that might not go right. And then that fuels into what you're doing in the future. So, yes, it's hard to let it go, but you've got to let it go and focus on, here, now, future.
I love it.
Absolutely. Bonnie Blair joining us on the Fan Guest Hotline powered by Gruber Law. Bonnie, do you still lace them up? Do you still get out there on the track?
Yeah, I do, but oh my God, it's so much more difficult. And if you don't like kind of get going on the ice in the beginning of the season, like forget it later on. But I like to eat, right? So I've got to make
Join
sure
the club. Join the club.
Yeah, I got to make sure I exercise so that I can have my like dessert after dinner. So,
right,
but yeah, I can't do what I did, but to get out there and maybe do some slower laps or work with some of the younger kids, that definitely it still puts a smile on my face, even though I know like, oh my God, I'm not going very fast. I don't have the power in my legs I used to, but yeah, it's been like 30 years, so I really shouldn't have that anyway.
So, Mason, I know that next Sunday, we're outside in Beloit, and it's probably going to be hot and sunny. But I was wondering if, like, in the outfield, if we could set up, like, an ice track next to a running track.
Yes.
And if Bonnie could lace him up and she gets to skate and you have to sprint, and let's set up, like, a Crosby v. Blair, like, race for Make-A-Wish, Wisconsin.
I think she'd dominate me on those skates.
She might.
I do want that though. I'm thinking like I just had this picture of Bonnie out in the outfield with an ice like track and her like skating and catching a fly ball. That would just be solid gold.
That would
right
be
there.
the best.
I know you could do it.
Like you guys keep bringing up stuff that it like has happened in my life.
Oh, you've done this before?
So, well, kind of what Mitch was saying. So, back in, I think it was like 92, 93, right around there. We were in Holland, and at the end of the season, they always kind of do like a fun exhibition competition where they do all these like crazy things. They had me race their top indoor 60-meter sprint runner.
Awesome.
So she was on the inside of the track and I was on the ice rink part.
Nice.
And we went to the starting line and we went 60 meters and literally like out of the blocks, she was like gone.
Yeah.
But for me, it takes me a little while to get going. And I just reeled her in. We literally went across the finish line at the same time.
Oh, wow.
It took them like 10 minutes before they decided who won. And then they said I won by .001.
Nice. Yes. Let's go.
Yeah.
Let's go.
So,
Yes.
so there has been something done similar to that, but it was crazy. And like I said, she was like shot out of a cannon. And then I like reeled her in where I just kept gaining on her. And thank God I didn't panic. And then,
right,
like,
you just stayed
because
in it.
she was like, she can just move so much quicker off the starting line than I can in my skates. But
those speed skating starts are so cool. Yeah, like how you get that skate back and then it's like the push off. It's so awesome. But Bonnie Blair on the Mason Crosby show, she will be at the Border Brouhaha on July 27th, just hitting homers, catching fly balls, digging everything out in the infield. I'm just not going to be
throwing. I'm going to be tossing underhand.
Just tossing underhand all over the place. But Bonnie, I so much appreciate that you're going to give your time to come out to this amazing event, our inaugural charity softball event there in Beloit at the ABC Supply Stadium, July 27th. Everybody, a few tickets still available. Come on out. Bonnie says she's going to entertain, so I'm ready for that. And just talking to you again right now,
Mason, we'll get her a microphone.
Mic
for sure.
you up, for sure.
Maybe something like that. Like they can't expect too much out of me, so yeah.
Well, if you need, I have my 5 kids coming, so if you need like a pinch runner or something, or anything like that, they're there for any assistance that we
any
need.
Hamstrings or anything.
Or they could just follow you around, and like if you want to just toss them the ball, then they can throw it to the base.
Throw it. Yes, I like it. I like
Assistance can be had.
I was kind of waiting for Bonnie to like be sliding into the bases, but having skates on instead
oh my gosh,
to like let people know what was up.
Legs off.
All right, we'll make it work. We'll make it work.
That's right.
Oh my goodness.
Nice. Just Google Border Brouhaha Softball Slam. and it'll take you right to the site to get tickets. So it's going to be a blast. Jordy Nelson's going to be there, a bunch of Mason's former teammates as well. A bunch of us from the fan will be there, and can't wait to see Bonnie just like go oppo like for a 3-run homer or something like that.
Exactly.
Bonnie, we're excited to hang out with you next Sunday.
Okay, so I was also given on behalf of the Cubs a Gold Glove. So I'm going to bring that with me. I don't know if I'll use it, but I'm going to have it with me just in case.
Nice. Yes, because I did see.
Oh, did you say Cubs? I'm sorry. I missed that. My bad.
Well, I saw that too, right? You're Chicagoland Sports Hall of Fame, Wisconsin Athletic Hall of Fame.
As you should be.
Hall of Fame, and United States Olympic Hall of Fame. So
I'm just glad people claim me and not get rid of me. That's
Bonnie,
a good thing.
Bonnie,
right.
do you have any words for advice for Mason? So he's going into the Wisconsin Athletic Hall of Fame next week. Do you have any words for advice for his speech?
Yeah.
Like what
any
to
help
say,
with the speech, I could use it.
And I'm going to be there too, so I'm super excited for that.
Nice.
Yeah, I think it's very cool, very well deserved.
Thanks.
Yeah, it's we're really excited because for a little while the Hall of Fame had kind of gone dormant. So we're excited that it's back. It's thriving. It's going to be a super fun evening. You're going to do just fine. I'll be excited to hear what all you have to say. And
well, Molly will help me with my speech,
Yeah,
so
she
I'll be
will.
good. My wife, Molly's the best. She's our writer and speech writer extraordinaire. So she'll get me dialed in. We'll be
there.
We'll be
We
good to
go. I'm sure she will. Yeah.
Love it. Awesome. Well, Bonnie, thank you so much for taking the time today. This was an absolute blast. Cannot wait to see you next Thursday. Can't wait to see you next Sunday. It's going to be a great weekend celebrating the Wisconsin Athletic Hall of Fame and the Border Brouhaha and Make-A-Wish Wisconsin and all the great things that you're involved in the community as well. So thank you so much.
Yep. A couple of fun days coming up. Yep. Look forward to seeing you guys.
Awesome, Bonnie. Yep. We'll see you next week. Really appreciate it.
Okay, thanks. See ya.
All right, bye.
Thank you. Bonnie Blair, the absolute best, as Andy Herman would say. Thanks for joining us on the Fan Guest Hotline, powered by Gruber Law. One call, that's all. Mason, I know we had her for, I feel like.
I could have talked to her all day.
Right.
Yeah,
we could have done 2 hours just with Bonnie telling stories. I mean, I'm guessing there's 100 more stories about being the youngest of 6 and getting to where she got to and having older parents and just those stories. I just could have sat here for hours.
And I'm just looking at her bio and her stat, all the stuff. I'm we didn't even barely tip the iceberg. I mean, it's she just all the accolades, all the things that she's been able to do.
When she had that race, where was that race? She said.
In Holland.
Yeah, I should have asked her what was the best thing she had to eat on that trip. That should have been outside. That's my question.
And she says she's a foodie, so we'll ask her next week.
We will definitely talk food with her next week.
No
absolutely.
doubt.
He's Mason Crosby. I'm Mitch Nelles. Again, our thanks to Bonnie Blair, the absolute best, for joining us on the Fan Guest Hotline, powered by Gruber Law. One call, that's all. We've got some football news to get to. We've got a lot of Human Wednesday, Scotty Scheffler to get to, and we'll probably revisit the Major League Baseball All-Star Game as well in the 10 o'clock hour. This is the Mason Crosby Show, powered by Verizon. To remind you of the mess you left when you went away. Yeah. Little Alanis bringing us back here on the Mason Crosby Show, presented by Verizon, the #1 network in Milwaukee. He is Mason Crosby. Again, our thanks to Bonnie Blair. If you missed that or missed anything that's going on, just search the Mason Crosby Show wherever you listen to your podcasts. Apple, Spotify, Odyssey, iHeart, whatever. Catch the full episode, listen by individual hour, jump straight to the highlights, open up your favorite podcast app, search the Mason Crosby Show, hit the follow button so you get every minute of the show your way and on your time. Our thanks to Bonnie Blair for joining us on the Fan Guest Hotline, powered by Gruber Law. One call, that's all. That was just a blast, Mace. Like, that was awesome.
That was awesome, yep. I was like, how long can we keep her on here?
Yeah, like,
I was like, oh man, we're almost to the 10 o'clock hour.
Yeah. Can we push it?
Just keep rolling. Yep. She's going to be great. I can't wait to see her next week at the Border Brouhaha. Yeah, definitely jump on there.
And at the Hall of Fame ceremony, which is next Thursday. Yep, which there are also tickets available for that as well.
Jump in.
At the Baird Center, right downtown. Speaking of downtown, we do have weather coming tonight. Right now it is, let's see, what do I got? I got 84 and sunny. But starting around 2, 3 o'clock, we got thunderstorms all evening, potentially. The night market, which is the monthly huge night market they do right downtown, already canceled for tonight.
Dang, so it's severe.
Yeah, they are expecting true severe weather tonight, so be careful for that. Speaking of severe, Garrett Wilson and Sauce Gardner signed some pretty severe contracts now that the Jets don't have to pay Aaron Rodgers.
Well, and I mean, it makes sense. You know, the Jets are just, a team on the cusp of winning world championships. So
every year.
They should be signing their guys to top deals.
You a little salty on this one, Mace?
Not salty. Like, I understand it. Like, I'm like, I'm a realist. I get Garrett Wilson's numbers.
Rich Eisen loves him. I don't know if you heard this, but after our show, whether it was, I think it was yesterday, maybe it was Monday. He was talking about how, like, the Jets have finally made the right move.
Does he like his, like, lack of touchdown production? And
I think he blames.
Drop balls?
I think he blames the quarterbacks for that.
Oh my God!
I'm just saying, like, he loves. Like, he was on the air saying, like, the Jets have finally made a smart move after years of dumb moves. They locked up who he thinks is one of the best wide receivers in the league. He just needs
Give me a wide receiver that's going to get in the end zone. That's what I want. I mean, I get, like, he's been over 1,000 yards. In his seasons there at the Jets, like, every year, which is impressive. But last year was his highest touchdown rate, and he had 7 touchdowns.
Yeah.
Like, I just, for me, I'm like, if you're not a double-digit touchdown guy and you are the main receiver on your team, and y'all are usually playing from behind because you're not good, so you're getting a lot of opportunities, and they're trying to get you the ball because you're their stud guy. Like, you need to be getting in the end zone a little bit more. That's just
you would think. Yeah. You would think, yeah. And then Sauce Gardner gets a huge contract. And then on the total flip side, the Cincinnati Bengals, who are a mess, Shamar Stewart working out at Texas A&M. I don't like this. It's not.
That's an interesting.
He's not. That's not really going to happen, though. Like,
I hope it does. I mean, that would be legendary.
Because we're all cheering for chaos, right?
Oh, so much chaos. I mean, if he doesn't come back and he takes a year off and then re-enters the draft, like, that would be the craziest thing we've ever seen in the modern era of NFL football. That would just be unbelievable.
It really would.
I'm all for it, and I want to see it happen. Can he play? He can't play for the. He doesn't have any eligibility left since he declared.
I don't know, Tommy. What do you?
I think he's out since he was drafted.
I feel like what we saw was that Shamar Stewart is going to attempt to play with Texas A&M.
No, he's not.
There's no way. Once you go pro and get drafted, can you really?
From right here on NBC Sports, Shamar Stewart could still try to go back to school.
No,
wow, that's amazing.
I want to see that all day. I think actually, in my mind though, I want to see it, but it'd be stupid. Like, it'd be dumb for him.
Of course, it'd be dumb for him.
Like, just take the year off.
I mean, what about the NIL contract he could get this year? I'm sure he can guess. I'm sure he can go by and get a couple million.
Yeah. Actually, because how it works now, you're right.
Go for it, Shamar.
Mason,
I'm glad we didn't draft him. Holy cow!
Yeah, no, I think the Packers would have taken better care of him, and it would have worked out. It's so Bengals. It's not. I don't know if it's Shamar.
But Packers have a holdout because someone signed a guaranteed contract in the second round.
Anthony Belton.
Belton, yeah. So like they signed a guaranteed contract, and he's like, well, I mean, guy right around me signed one, so I want my contract fully guaranteed.
Mason, it's Human Wednesday. You ready to get into your feels?
I am. Scotty Scheffler, is all things we need right now. So let's get to that.
Human Wednesday, Scotty Scheffler. Man, I wish he was on the show, but we're going to listen to some audio. We're going to react to it as well, and we're going to get into our feels. It is the Mason Crosby Show, presented by Verizon, the #1 network in Milwaukee. We're in the Fan Studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. This is the Mason. I am on my way.
Mitchapalooza.
That's right, Mitchapalooza, baby. We're going streaking.
We're going streaking.
Home Depot, maybe Bed Bath & Beyond.
I don't know if we're going to have enough time.
We're not going to go. This is the Mason Crosby Show, presented by Verizon, the #1 network in Milwaukee. And, there's so much going on in the world of sports. And I was telling Tommy this, I think, on Monday. It was a year ago this week that I filled in for Sparky kind of just doing fill-in. I did 7 straight shows of Sparky's. I don't know if it was like a dress rehearsal for this job or what, but like, and I remember at the time saying, giving kudos to Sparky because of course he took the week off of that's Major League Baseball All-Star Week, which is literally the slowest week of sports of the year.
Nothing going on.
This is how big of a nerd I was when I was a kid. My favorite trivia question in all the world when I was a kid was, what are the only 2 days on the calendar that can't possibly have a major U.S. sporting event?
What are the only days?
Yeah, there's only 2 days on. It's now 3 days.
July?
It's now 3 days. Now there's lots of baseball on the 4th of July.
Okay, there's baseball.
So it's the 2 days after the All-Star break?
Right, it's the day before the All-Star game and the 2 days after the All-Star game. So they used to play on Thursday. Now all Major League Baseball takes Thursday off and comes back on Friday.
Oh, you're talking just baseball?
Yeah. No, every sport.
Oh,
any sport.
Because
he's saying throughout the calendar year there won't be a sport on.
And I would say baseball, basketball, football, and hockey. Of baseball, football, basketball, and hockey, what are the only 2 days on the calendar that a sporting event cannot fall, can never fall? And it's and it was
then
always
the Open Championship is over. Yeah, it's not in the U.S. So
the what?
The Open Championship.
Are you speaking English?
Yeah, this is my
tomorrow?
second favorite week of the year.
Really?
Yeah, behind the Masters week. In the golf world.
Can't say that about Wimbledon because it's so many weeks.
Golf world. Why do you hate Wimbledon so much?
Mason, where is the Open Championship this year?
It is at Royal Portrush in Northern Ireland.
Okay.
Close home to Rory McIlroy. So maybe he figured out a conforming driver that will work for him, and he can defend his Masters title and find a way in one of these majors. But he seems just kind of like content now that he's won the Masters. He's like, I've done everything I've wanted. Moving on.
All right, so I'm looking at the Open Championship. Who is the favorite to win?
Scotty. I mean, come on.
Yeah, we got Scotty Scheffler. And you know why I love the Open and why I love Wimbledon?
Why?
Yeah, mind you, is that tomorrow morning I will take Nolan to football at 7. Like he has to be there before 7 a.m.
Yes.
I will come home in the 2
the
hours
will be
between dropping him in the show. I will be locked in on Open Championship golf. Like the first tee times are at like 4 a.m. or something like that tomorrow morning. So I am so excited. It is the best. I love whenever stuff and that's why I love Premier League. I love watching that on Saturdays. I'd get up before games on Sundays for like a noon game, and you'd have Premier League games on before going to the stadium. It's my favorite to be able to watch games over in the UK whenever in the morning. There's nothing better.
Your top 5 favorites in the Open Championship. And you guys both got number 1, Scotty.
It's got to be Scotty.
Who's
it's got to
number
be
2?
Rory's got to be up
Rory's
there.
number 2.
Yeah,
yep.
Rory's got it. And I'm not looking at it, so I'm just trying to guess.
Bryson is 4. Bryson is 4.
John Rahm is John Rahm up there?
John Rahm is 3 and Xander's 5. You guys are like,
look at us. We are so dialed.
Who knows golf?
Yeah.
It is the Mason Crosby
we know
show
golf.
minus Mitch Thunder Nelles.
Yeah. Well, I knew Tommy knew golf. He's a sleeper in the golf world.
He really is.
Yeah.
He really is. I don't know.
We got him locked into
puberty right there in my voice, but he really is. I love it.
We're doing voices now.
Oh my God, Peter Brady, everybody.
I was gonna move on.
No, you gotta, dude. I was on the mic at the Junior Duke softball thing on Sunday, and the same thing happened. My voice cracked. Everybody looked, and so you got to address it. You got to be
Why
like,
is that the funniest thing in all of history? Someone's voice cracks, and it's just like everyone has to jump on. I mean, that would happen in the LaFleur and McCarthy,
sure.
And everybody would just pile on, and it's like you can't make a mistake with your voice, or it's attack mode.
Well, and I mean, it's human, right? I mean,
it's
like
so
that's
human.
just what
That's
happens.
Right. Nice.
And Scotty Scheffler, he is your favorite golfer's favorite golfer. If he is not your favorite golfer right now,
and
because
favorite
of that.
human right now.
Yes,
Yeah.
and that's his huge draw. And we wanted to talk about his statement from yesterday. So I have the whole 5-minute clip here, but I thought you guys, I know we wanted to talk about it, like just tell me stop, and then we can react to a sentence, like play it out as long as you want, and I'll keep it on tabs here. But should we get to Scotty?
Real. He got real, and I want to be there for it. Let's go.
All right, here is Scotty Scheffler after being asked about like fulfillment in golf.
Kind of funny. I think I think I said something after the Byron this year about like, it feels like you work your whole life to celebrate winning a tournament for like a few minutes. It only lasts a few minutes, that kind of euphoric feeling. And to win the Byron Nelson Championship at home, I literally worked my entire life to become good at golf, to have an opportunity to win that tournament. And you win it, you celebrate, get to hug my family, my sister's there. It's such an amazing moment. And then it's like, okay, now what are we going to eat for dinner? Life goes on.
All right, stop.
So
like the fact like that you work your whole life to win this one thing, you celebrate for a few minutes, your sister's there, and then but life keeps going on. And I think that's the first point I want to jump out and
I wonder
and
if he felt the same way before he had a kid. Because I do think having his wife and his kids, his child there, and you've seen it after, and I mean Scotty's a winner. Too. So it's not like it's a one and done and this is going to be his flash in the pan. So he's he won that one, celebrates for a moment, then it's like, all right, let's get dinner and let's get ready for this next event because he's going to that next one. But yeah, I do think his mindset probably has shifted slightly becoming a dad, because it was, I know whenever I became a father and then started having more kids, it was just I'd get home from games and it's you're right into dad mode.
Yes.
It's it doesn't, all that celebration, recognition, all of that, they enjoy it. They love it.
But
those little ones don't even know. They just want you to pick them up and, and tell them and play with them. So I do love that perspective. And it for sure probably has changed since he became a father. But also at the same time, when you're in it, just some insight into that. When you're in it, it is that. He's going to look back whenever it's all, as he gets later in his career and he's not winning as much. And it's, it's kind of, he's moving into that twilight of his career. And those moments will still be there. Mm-hmm. So he's saying, it's they're not as fulfilling as he wants them to be. But that mindset is awesome, because it's he's staying in those moments. He's staying in chasing a dream and going after it. If you just sit and you celebrate every moment it's your, it's the biggest moment that you've ever been in, it's kind of that adage, act like you've been there before, right? He's just grinding. He's the ultimate grinder for being. It's like a Tiger Woods. It's a similar thing where it's I enjoyed that. I'm so glad I won. But now what am I going to do next? And how am I going to keep chasing it? But Scotty is different than Tiger as well. Tiger wanted to win, and he needed those. It's he was chasing those dominant and those victories. And Scotty, in his comments, doesn't feel as intense in that. It's I've worked so hard, I got there, and then it's just kind of all right, what's our next activity that we're going to? It's a unique perspective, and I love that he went deep into it, with his comments.
What else you got, Tommy?
Is it great to be able to win tournaments and to accomplish the things I have in the game of golf? Yeah. I mean, it brings tears to my eyes just to think about, because it's literally worked my entire life to become good at this sport, and to have that kind of sense of accomplishment, I think is a pretty cool feeling. To get to live out your dreams is very special. But at the end of the day, it's I'm not out here to inspire the next generation of golfers. I'm not here to inspire somebody else to be the best player in the world, because what's the point? This is not a fulfilling life. It's fulfilling from the sense of accomplishment, but it's not fulfilling from a sense of the deepest, places of your heart. There's a lot of people that make it to what they thought was going to fulfill them in life, and then you get there and all of a sudden you get to number one in the world, and then they're what's the point? And I really do believe that, because what is the point? You're why do I
stop? Yep.
Mace.
Yeah, and I mentioned Tiger. Think about Tiger's kind of relative emptiness, with all of his success. Mm-hmm. Was it just about? He talked about it. He wanted to be the perfect golfer. He wanted to find a way to be the best golfer ever, and try to break the game in a sense.
Yep.
And Scotty has this complete opposite perspective. Like, I am so much more as a father, as a husband, as a son, as a brother, like as a friend, and all of that. And like, what is he going to do outside of the game to have a fulfilling life? The game is a means to an end. It's a means to have success, make money, do all these things. But his perspective is so unique in that, and it's refreshing, right? Where it's
refreshing, but I also have.
But there is a little where it's like go on what you're saying, because I was going to go that way too. But
I was going to say there needs to be some sort of like love for what you're doing and fulfillment. Like I think he's saying this, but he's not really like. I think he does find fulfillment.
Oh, for sure.
And the other, actually, I'm going to go totally on a tangent here. I wonder how much of this is because he's playing an individual sport. Because I do think there's something about, like, whether you're in a clubhouse or a locker room or whatever it might be, where you're like doing it for and with your guys.
Yeah,
and golf is such a solitary sport that it's harder to be I just think of like my 12 and 14-year-olds that I coached literally yesterday, and it was the last games of the season. And I said to them, let's just go out tonight and have fun for your teammates. Like, let's have fun with your friends. Let's have each other's backs. Let's pick each other up. Let's not get too down when things go bad. Let's celebrate when things go well. But let's be here together and experience that. And I wonder, like, he talks so much about his family, and he loves his family. But I wonder if this is part of being in an individual sport versus having that camaraderie that you have in a team sport.
Yeah, I think to a point, but I mean, they're in the golf world. I mean, they build a team around them. Mm-hmm. I mean, and you got to look at it. I look at it as caddy. Like, you look who everybody puts around them. Okay. So like Scotty's caddy is an exceptional human being and just like an awesome guy. Like, I saw him walking the course at Royal Point Rush, and I guess they burn the edges of the bunkers to kind of keep the sand from falling down.
Okay.
So that's kind of how they do it. And he's just like, hey man, it's a little chilly out there. Do you think I could get some of that? Like, and he just is walking around like being a human. So I do think Scotty, the team he put around him is very like human and real. It's not just this robotic, like, we are about being great golfers and like, getting championships and all of that, which I think is good. But I do think I will say another side of it, and this is where I was going to go, is like, as a professional athlete, when you're on that stage and all of that, you don't have to proclaim yourself as a role model and all that. Like, Tiger said that before. He's like, I never said I was a role model for people. Like, don't do what I do. But like, people are watching, and you are inspiring people, whether you want to or not. So some of this too is probably a mindset and a philosophy that he approaches, because honestly, he wasn't exceptional right when he got onto the PGA Tour. Like, he worked really hard, kind of revamped his swing, found some things, probably figured out this mental approach because maybe pressure was a lot for him. Maybe things where it's like the mindset of, I'm doing this for all these other people, or I want to do all that. I'm trying to inspire young golfers to follow in my footsteps. That can be a lot of pressure. Yeah. So whenever you take an approach like this, you're kind of like taking and deflecting the pressure off of yourself, and you're saying like, it's about more than just winning tournaments and doing all that. If I go out and win, that's awesome, but I'm taking the pressure off of winning being the only thing that matters.
That's excellent. Yep.
I want to win this tournament so bad. That's something that I wrestle with on a daily basis. It's like showing up at the Masters every year. It's like, why do I want to win this golf tournament so badly? Why do I want to win the Open Championship so badly? I don't know. Because if I win, it's going to be awesome for about 2 minutes. And then we're going to get to the next week, and it's going to be like, hey, you won 2 majors this year. How important is it for you to win the FedEx Cup playoffs? And it's just like, we're back here again, So we really do. We work so hard for such little moments. And, I'm kind of a sicko. I love putting in the work. I love being able to practice. I love getting out to live out my dreams. But at the end of the day, sometimes I just don't understand the point, because...
All right, stop. Yeah. It's funny. I mean, is Scotty Scheffler retiring after this year? Right. What's going on? He is soul searching, man. That is deep.
Like that. Like part of me, like, I know he's laughing, and I know that like the media is kind of laughing along with him, but part of me is like a little worried.
Yeah.
Like where's the competitive fire? Like I respect the humanity here, but I also kind of question, like, I want my professional athletes to have to want to be the best, to want to win, to want to compete.
I think
I'm just a little worried.
I love both sides. Yeah, right. I'm like kind of, there is like a piece there where I'm just like, like, what do you mean? Like, it's not just 2 minutes. I mean, you won the Masters. Like, you
get to wear that jacket forever.
Yeah, I think of it more as a Lombardi, like God, family, Green Bay Packers type mindset here,
sure.
where it's not that, hey, he's not all in. It's that, like, this guy is just saying, if you are looking for, fulfillment, pro sports, like, shouldn't be at the top of the list kind of thing, especially with what, he's going through and, obviously starting his family and married. And, he's a young guy still. This is a guy he's not even 30 yet, right? Isn't he? Yeah.
29,
Jerk.
I mean, he's just trying to take this approach that, no, golf is not the only reason why he is existing, I think. And, there's a great tweet up there from Ryan Whitney, who does Spit and Chicklets, former pro hockey player, I believe.
Okay.
But basically, he's like, I don't think we've ever seen an athlete at the top of their game, like, just this open and vulnerable ever.
I think the openness is unique because as athletes, you go through these phases of questioning all the time. Like, why am I doing this? What is the reason? You're always trying to either solidify your why, kind of like reaffirm why you're doing it, or searching for why you're doing it, right? And I do think he's in a unique spot with a new family. Like, kind of now he has that weight of it. He seems to have good parents, like he's a Texas boy, so I can relate. Where it's like that's some of the mindset that I was taught as a young kid as well. It's just like, don't let your whole identity be wrapped up in what you do for a living, like what the sports you play, the job you have, all of that. Like, those are important things and they're great, but like, make sure that you're seeking out things outside of that. We just don't hear it a lot from professional athletes, right? Like, Mason, he is just being so open about it, where he's like searching himself all the time. And we usually, athletes are, they just say the status quo. So I do believe it's refreshing to just hear that insight of, I'm sometimes wondering why. Like, I want it so bad, and what that means about myself.
Yeah, I'll keep playing and then I'll add some more.
Hold on, how much more is there?
There's another 2 minutes.
Yeah, so let's take a break and then get back to it. Because this is Human Wednesdays. Human Wednesdays waits for no man. So this is definitely a segment.
We want to hear everyone's thoughts. If you're listening and you kind of have a perspective on how you feel about Scotty Scheffler, about athletes in general, whether they're cagey with how they share their feelings, or if you prefer like the openness like Scotty's shown. So go to the Nicolay Law Fan Talking text line 414-677-1250 and just let us know kind of what you're feeling about like Scotty and athletes in general whenever they open up like this.
Yep. So please get your thoughts in, and because this is the most real and most human we've heard a professional athlete in a long, long time, I feel like.
Yeah, and introspective for sure.
Exactly. 2 Brewers All-Star pitchers took center stage last night in the All-Star game. 2 successes were had. What will determine success for the crew in the second half of the season? Find out what Sparky thinks on Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's this afternoon at 2 on The Fan. I love how the Beastie Boys snuck into this. For those of you on YouTube, I'm sorry that you're not hearing the music, but our bump music this segment is the Beastie Boys. I just need to know the rationale behind some of this. Like all of a sudden we're cool. Like
we are cool.
I know we are cool, but like
let's do this
half
thing.
of our music not so cool.
Half of our music.
It's the Mason Crosby Show presented by Verizon, the number one network in Milwaukee. We're in the Fan Studios powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. We're on the Odyssey app and we're now on the iHeart app as well. So wherever you listen to anything you listen to, just search for the Mason Crosby Show and you can listen on your time, on your terms, however you want. The Nicolay Law Fan Talking text line 414-677-1250. We are talking about Scotty Scheffler and talking about what's important to him in life and the highs he gets or doesn't get from winning a golf tournament, and should that really be the goal of life? 414 does write into the Nicolay Law Fan Talking text line. Giannis was still celebrating the next day after they won the championship in 2021. He did go and get a 50-piece chicken nugget. At Chick-fil-A. So he
was just wondering what the next meal was.
Right.
Yeah.
He was still celebrating that. But I wonder what, and we'll get to more Scheffler sound in a second here. I do wonder, Giannis is a very introspective ball player as well. And, 2 years ago, some labeled the season a failure, and he kind of challenged a reporter about every year we don't win the championship is a failure. And some of us in the media actually at the time said yes. Yeah, if that's your goal, now it's not every team's goal to win the championship. That's just not realistic. But if you're Giannis and your goal is to win the championship and you don't, you could say that year's a failure. But he's been very introspective over the years about what basketball means to him. I think being a dad now and being a more active dad, being more involved in his Greek heritage.
For sure.
I think that it's, that I think that he's been a lot more willing to talk about those things that a lot of athletes aren't.
Yeah, Giannis is pretty open as well. I think it is, it's important to note that whenever, every offseason after the season, I would reflect on the previous season and then start setting goals for the offseason for the next season. Mm-hmm. So individually, there was always a team goal to win a championship. I mean, that's always where you're trying to head. So if you don't win a championship, you did not achieve one of your goals. That's always, at the end of the day, that's going to be a failure of or not achieving one of those goals. But every player, every athlete, if they're doing it right and they've achieved success, they will have goals set in place that they can say, hey, I clipped a few of these off the board, mm-hmm. and I did have success in these moments. I do, with the Scotty stuff. I like the comments. I'd like to dive in just a little deeper whenever he says, I don't know why I want it so bad. Because he does want it bad. If you kind of read between the lines.
So do you think he wants it so bad, or he's been told that he's supposed to want it so bad?
That's the thing. Well, I think it's he's questioning why he wants it so bad. Yeah. So it is that. Is it the introspection of has somebody said that this should be important to me? Is all that training, all that work I've put in, does that fuel this fire that it's important? And then why is it important? And then what other things am I going to fill that will actually reach deeper than just these championships? So I just see him winning, this weekend on the Open, and he's going to get that trophy, and it's going to be, and then he's just be I would love, tongue in cheek, if he just smiles and he's just all right, what's for dinner?
That would be great.
Just do something awesome like that.
Miss Julie writes in on the YouTube channel. Remember, you can watch us on YouTube at The Fan Milwaukee. Miss Julie says, this sounds personal. If I had to guess, I'd think Scotty's having an issue with spouse or kid or something in his life, and this is a profession of what's important because something specific is on his mind.
Well, it's good that that's brought up because that is there is a little piece of that also coming up in the sound here. Well, we can get right back to it if you guys are ready for that.
Yeah, let's listen.
I don't know if I'm making any sense or not, but am I not? It's just one of those deals. I love the challenge. I love being able to play this game for a living. It's one of the greatest joys of my life. But does it fill the deepest wants and desires of my heart? Absolutely not. I love playing golf. I love being able to compete. I love living out my dreams. I love being a father. I love being able to take care of my son. I love being able to provide for my family out here playing golf. And Every day when I wake up early to go put in the work, my wife thanks me for going out and working so hard. And when I get home, I try and thank her every day for taking care of our son. It's just, that's why I talk about families being my priority, because it really is. I'm blessed to be able to come out here and play golf, but if my golf ever started affecting my home life, or it ever affected the relationship I have with my wife or with my son, that's going to be the last day that I play out here for a living. This is not the be-all, end-all. This is not the most important thing in my life, and that's why I wrestle with, why is this so important to me? Because, I would much rather be a great father than I would be a great golfer. That at the end of the day, that's what's more important to me.
Yeah,
paused it for you guys.
Yeah.
Well, and
here
I
on the
love
Mason,
it. I mean, I love it.
Here on the Mason Crosby Show, I mean, that's like what we live by. Like we talk. I mean, we would do the show all about being dad for 2 hours,
sure,
because like that's what we, and so we understand the importance of what he's talking about, and his, our kids are a little bit older than his, and he'll just grow in that fatherhood over as the years go by, and that involvement that he wants to have with his kids and his spouse and all that sort of stuff.
I totally believe it. Like hearing him talk, I'm like, Scotty would quit tomorrow. If he felt like it was affecting it. Like I totally believe him. I love the insight. He's going to have to grapple with this though, because it is going to start taking a toll. Like there will be a moment. So like we will see, because it's like the schedule. He plays a lot of tournaments too. So it's not like he takes a lot of weeks off. So that is going to be what we'll probably see as his child, or as he has more kids, as they get into school and they're not able to just come and be there when he wins tournaments, and he's not able to hold them every time, or it's just a little more difficult. They start playing sports and things like that. Those are like the constant things, not just as professional athletes, but as mothers and fathers that work jobs and like have tough situations, or not even tough, just situations that they're pulled away from their family. You always have to try to continue to seek that balance. So what's interesting with him is that he is just speaking it into existence. Like we just don't hear that all the time as everybody's going through it. And I think it's almost, this might be a therapeutic moment for him of just getting it out there in the world and saying like, hey, I'm going to share what's important to me and what I'm going to continue to work through. And I'm glad he rephrased, like, I love playing golf, and I'm going to I'm going to be the best golfer I can be. He made
sure to mention that. I think he made sure to mention that.
Because he's like, I don't know if I'm making any sense, and it's like because it's like I do think everyone was probably like, does he not like golfing? Does he is this not important to him?
Is he going to go back to school and be an accountant, or is he going to buy an ice cream store and just run an ice cream store?
And the last,
I think that's what he would do.
There's about a minute. There's about a minute and a half left, and the question that was just asked here was, why do you hate losing so much? And so I think we let this play out, and then we react for the rest of the time here.
Perfect.
It sucks. I hate it. I really do. That is, and I think that's why we try to work so hard to not lose. But golf's a game where you just lose a lot more often than you win. I mean, that's just a simple part of it. In basketball or football, when there's only two guys out there, you can win a lot more than you lose. But I think I was looking at stats. It was one of the best tennis players. It might have been Federer or Djokovic or somebody. They only won like 48% of their points or something like that. I mean, playing professional sports is a really weird thing to do. Like, it really is, just because we put in so much effort. We work so hard for something that's so fleeting. I mean, it really is. Like, the feeling of winning just doesn't last that long. When I sit back at the end of the year and, I kind of try to reflect on things, like having that sense of accomplishment from winning the Masters tournament, from winning the PGA Championship, I have a deep sense of gratitude and appreciation for it. But it's just hard to explain how it just doesn't satisfy, is how I would describe it. It's an unsatisfying venture. And so I guess what I'm trying to say is this is not the place to look for your satisfaction. This is something that's where you can have a great appreciation for and a great amount of thankfulness for being able to do this. And like I said, it's literally one of the most fun things that I can do in my entire life. I love being able to come out here and play golf and compete. But at the end of the day, it's just not what satisfies me.
Wow.
I mean, I get it. Like, honestly, it's like the words he's saying, like, definitely make sense.
But that's a pretty big commitment in your life to have that doesn't satisfy you.
I think he's saying, like, honestly, how I'm feeling from it is that, like, if he were to feel like he's similar to how I like approach things, where it's like, don't get too high, don't get too low,
right,
with any moment, because it's like if he felt the highs as much as he probably should, all those losses, all those non-wins, he'd probably feel just as much, right?
Yep.
So it's like he does not want to ride that roller coaster. So it's just like, all right, I'm going to find other things like my family, relationships, stuff like that satisfy just as much or more than winning a golf tournament, does. And I know there's probably people out there that are just like, wow, he just seems ungrateful for like the opportunity that he has.
I think he's almost using the wrong word.
Instead of being satisfaction, like not feeling satisfied.
Because I have to assume that while he's on the course playing golf or while he's working on something on his game, there's an element of satisfaction that he gets out of it, or else I'd almost say to him, like, you should walk away today.
It's just like Bonnie Blair said, right?
Right,
like
right.
So if you missed that, go back and listen to Bonnie Blair's interview.
Like, I don't want to, and I don't mean to be negative at you, Mitch. I just think it's fine. Like, I think that's like a selfish thought of the fans, right? Like, just, to say that, hey, he's not using the right words during this moment.
All right,
like,
but if you're not satisfied playing golf and that's what you do for a living, like, how are you putting yourself through such a negative lens that, like, you shouldn't be golfing?
I think he puts enjoyment.
Go do something that satisfies you.
I think he shifted it there a little. He made sure it was known that he loves competing and he loves doing all that, and he seeks out those opportunities all the time because it is important to him, but it is not what fills his heart with the joy and the life fulfilling things that he is.
It's not
he is
life
constantly
fulfilling.
seeking.
Right,
Yeah.
I think that's what it is. I think
it is career fulfilling, but it's not fulfilling his life's needs and his heart's needs for what he is seeking.
Well, and it is Human Wednesday here,
right?
Yeah. So
I'm gonna human your face,
human. He has a superhuman ability to play the game of golf. Scotty Scheffler is the best in the world. He's going to be great for as long as he wants to be great, and he has the superhuman brain to be able to lock in and have that ability. He is trying to tell you he's not trying to chase superhuman satisfaction. He's trying to chase human satisfaction right here. And that this is something that he battles with between having superhero or superhuman brain and human brain while he is in this game. And not that he is just saying that, or at least what I'm hearing is when he is fulfilled on the superhuman side of his game and his life, that's not worth more than being fulfilled and enjoyed on the human side. And that is really something that I think more people should see this conversation and think, like, I don't care how he approaches this or how he says this, because he is trying to disassociate from the superhuman side of this argument and this comment and show you that he is human and that he is trying to be, like, going through life milestones, not golf milestones throughout this entire process.
Obviously, it's very relatable. Tommy, you totally understand Human Wednesday all the way. I talked about this. This was Human Tuesday. This is what I got to do. This is what we did every Tuesday of the football season. Molly and I would be able to be real because you do disassociate. You said the right word. And I honestly, like, that's probably a word he was searching for maybe in this interview, was disassociate his job and playing golf and, like, what he's doing from being who he is as a husband, father, and all of that. Because you've seen it go the other way where somebody, that is their whole identity. Right. They're chasing it so hard that all those relationships fall apart around them. Right.
And I think he's making it clear that golf is not his identity.
Yeah.
That there's more to life than whatever your job is, whatever your profession is. For him, it's golf and the hours and hours and weekends and all that sort of stuff. But that there's more to life than what you do for a living.
Or even that other people don't establish your identity, right? Like, this is not something that golf fans don't get to tell me how I am as a person. They can tell me who I am as a golfer.
Yeah, they can break down my performance.
But they cannot say how fulfilled I am as a human during this process. And Scotty Scheffler is showing that vulnerability to say, like, I find more satisfaction when I am a human rather than a superhuman.
He's put a lot of work in. Like either that's just innately who he is, or he's done some real mental training and work to figure and find all of this. Because you get to the top. He is the number one player in golf by a long shot. He is chased after every tournament, all those things, and that can be a very lonely space, right? And as a golfer, just like the position I played as a kid, like there is introspection because you're out there on an island. Yep. You're doing it like all eyes are on you. Like it depends on, like when I kicked the ball, it was like what happened off my foot, even though there were a lot of pieces that came into that space, just like there is in the background with Scotty Scheffler's golf game. But whenever he has his hands on that club and he decides to make a swing, it's all about him. And it's all about what he does. So like he has shifted and like done a lot of mental work to say like it's not going to define me if I miss a green, if I do anything, because you got his reaction when he misses a green, he might be confused or he'll just like, he kind of shrugs it off. He gets in a bunker, he shanks the ball out of bunkers more, I think, than any other player on tour.
Yep.
Like he'll hit a horrible shot and he just shrugs it off and moves on.
Mason,
and that's a trained response that he's given himself here.
Do you think he's also seen other golfers get too deep, and that part of this is a reaction to watching other golfers get too into their heads and too deep into their persona is 100% wrapped around what they are on the golf course?
Good point.
I mean, this is like Tiger Woods is a cautionary tale. Mm-hmm. I believe, in a lot of these young golfers' minds, is like you chase like dominating and perfection and like being this like golf icon and this golf person and like a bigger than the game,
right? And
relationships take a like there's a toll on those relationships.
Yeah,
and you just don't want to see yourself slide down this rabbit hole that you can't get yourself out of. Yeah. And so like just from these comments, here in probably 3-4 years, Scotty's probably going to play like a lot less golf. Like we will not see him playing week in and week out. Where
he'll
his
pick and choose a little
wife
bit more.
and his child can travel with him. Mm-hmm. He's going to pick and choose a lot more.
Yeah.
Well, clap it up for Scotty, right?
Yeah, I mean,
what a guy.
Human Wednesday, baby.
Well, if he doesn't win the Open, then we got a lot.
If you're not rooting for him, you're the problem.
Yeah.
If you're not,
you're a problem.
You're the devil. You're the devil if you're not.
Exactly.
Mason's extra points. Let's get inside Mason's head. Coming up here on the Mason Crosby Show, presented by Verizon, the number one network in Milwaukee. We're in the Fan Studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook.
On Mason Crosby's Mind Today, it's time for Extra Points, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook on the Mason Crosby Show with Mitch Nelles on 1250 AM and 105.7 FM, The Fan.
Oh, it's Mitchapalooza all day, every day, but especially today when he's wearing that shirt. Check him out on YouTube. This has been a great one. Honestly, couldn't have been a better Human Wednesday. Bonnie Blair is the absolute best.
Unbelievable.
Taking that from Andy Herman,
She's
but
so
she
great.
is. She was awesome. I can't wait to spend some time with her next Thursday at the Wisconsin Athletic Hall of Fame, and then on Sunday at the Border Brouhaha, July 27th. Go to thefanmilwaukee.com, look for tickets. Go to the BeloitSkyCarp.com website.
Yep.
Get your tickets if you haven't already. It's going to be a fun time. Even if the softball isn't great at all the time, we will have a great time out there. I do think y'all's team is pretty loaded.
I don't even know what the teams are.
I'm not sure how that happened. But
Like where are the teams? Like,
I don't have any.
listing
Y'all
of them?
aren't on my team, by the way.
Why are we not on your team?
I don't understand.
That doesn't make any sense.
Oh my gosh, I'm gonna be throwing all chin music to Tommy.
I
the
can't
whole
wait
time.
to just bat flip so nasty.
Oh my gosh!
on you
If one of
when
y'all hit a home run off
I'm
of me,
literally
440 to left.
It will take me 7 minutes to get around the field if I hit one out.
I'm going to make your kid pinch run for me, running around the bases after I hit
pitch
a dong.
running the whole time.
Yep.
That's going to be a thing for sure.
I love it.
Can't wait for that. Going to be fun next week. I'll be in town, obviously, for that event on Thursday. So I'll be in studio. I think my plan is Thursday and Friday.
Nice.
Next week. So
nice.
Get to do a little Mitch, Thunder Nelles, Mason Crosby, and Tommy Warts mess around. Have some fun. Scotty Scheffler is
we got to
the
set up
most
some
human.
catering for that, by the way. Next Thursday and Friday.
Let's get some breakfast.
If you want to cater the Mason Crosby show, just shoot us a tweet or a text or something.
Yep, we'll give
and
you a
let us
shout
know.
out.
Absolutely.
Yeah, Scotty Scheffler is going to win the Open. I cannot wait for tomorrow morning. I'm going to be up at 5 a.m. watching, so I might be a little tired whenever we get to the show. But
we are literally starting the show
rally.
tomorrow, Mason, with you giving an update on what has
On
happened.
where it's at.
Yeah,
for sure.
And I'm not even kidding. Like, that's where I'm going with it. Like, you are the golf guru.
I mean, that's
of like
that's
America,
all I'm gonna talk
basically.
About, yeah. And then we have On the Green on Friday, so we'll be able to kind of recap what's happening out there across the pond at in Northern Ireland. I have some heritage out there, but. Another great show. It felt like Thursday today to me. Whenever I woke up, but it's Wednesday
because you're not always here on Wednesdays. I know you're really excited for Bucks and Bulls at 4:30 on ESPN2 today.
Oh, yep.
That summer league action just can't get enough of it.
I'm excited. Yep. Okay, it is on ESPN2, so we'll be checking it out.
It'll be on
I'll
in the
see what's
background.
happening.
Remember this trivia question. Who's the only position player to have won an MVP in an Major League Baseball All-Star game despite not getting a hit in the game? His name is Kyle Schwarber.
Kyle Schwarber. Congratulations, and I love the humor of it's great at BP. So,
yep. He's Mason Crosby. I'm Mitch Nelles. Again, thanks to Bonnie Blair. Big ups to Scotty Scheffler for his comments. The Mason Crosby Show is presented by Verizon, the #1 network in Milwaukee. We're in the Fan Studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook, on the Odyssey app, on the iHeart app, wherever you find your podcast. Just search the Mason Crosby Show. We'll do it again tomorrow, everybody.
Oh, yeah. Join us tomorrow. Let's go.
I was